Seniors' 7 fruits that secretly weaken your legs. Stop eating them. Most seniors are told, eat more fruit. It's good for you. But what if that advice is quietly working against you? What if, especially after age 60, certain fruits are no longer as innocent as they seem and are in fact contributing to muscle loss, poor circulation, leg weakness, and even nighttime cramps? You're about to discover the truth behind a common myth that all fruit is automatically healthy, regardless of age or activity level. The unseen problem hiding in healthy fruit. This isn't just about sugar, though sugar plays a role. It's about how your aging body metabolizes specific compounds inside certain fruits and how they spike your blood sugar, deplete critical minerals like magnesium, interfere with oxygen delivery to your muscles, and silently accelerate insulin resistance and leg fatigue. In this video, you'll uncover the 7 fruits seniors over 60 should avoid immediately, and more importantly, what to eat instead to protect your strength, stamina, and balance. Let's begin with one of the most popular and misunderstood fruits on earth, the banana. Bananas. Great for athletes, not ideal for sedentary seniors. Walk into any gym, grocery store, or hospital, and you'll find bananas everywhere touted as the ultimate healthy snack. They're convenient. No prep needed, soft, portable, and rich in potassium. But here's what nobody explains. Bananas are contextual. That means whether they help you or hurt you depends entirely on how active your lifestyle is. If you're physically active, walking daily, gardening, working out, or breaking a sweat, then bananas are a fast-digesting fuel. They can feed your muscles efficiently, especially before or after exertion. But if you're over 60 and living a more sedentary lifestyle, meaning hours of sitting, light housework, little daily movement, then bananas might be silently working against you. The sugar roller coaster no one talks about. Let's break this down. A medium banana contains around 14 grams of sugar. Yes, it's natural sugar, but your body doesn't treat it that much differently from refined sugar, especially when eaten on an empty stomach or without a protein or fat source to slow it down. What happens when you eat a banana alone? Blood sugar spikes quickly. Your body releases insulin to clear the excess glucose. That glucose is stored as fat, typically around your belly and organs. Your blood sugar drops sharply after the spike. You feel it as fatigue, brain fog, irritability, or a craving for more carbs. That's not aging. That's unstable blood sugar, and it can happen even if you're eating healthy food. When bananas go bad, what happens to inactive bodies? Now, if your body is burning fuel regularly, let's say you're walking 8,000 or 10,000 steps per day, doing strength training, or even moderate gardening, your muscles will use that banana sugar as energy. But if you're not active enough to burn off that glucose, your body stores it instead. And where does it go? Mostly to your midsection, the worst place to accumulate fat because it surrounds your internal organs and raises your risk of type 2 diabetes, heart disease, inflammation-related cognitive decline. And the story doesn't end with sugar. The potassium-magnesium imbalance that triggers leg cramps. Bananas are famous for being high in potassium, a mineral your body needs for heart rhythm regulation, nerve function, fluid balance. That all sounds great until you realize something critical. Bananas are low in magnesium, and that imbalance matters more than you think. Magnesium and potassium are like teammates. They work together to support your muscle contraction and relaxation, hydration, nerve signaling. Here's the catch. As we age, magnesium depletion is common due to stress medications, reduced absorption, and simply the wear and tear of time. So when seniors eat high potassium foods like bananas without adequate magnesium, it throws the mineral ratio out of balance. What are the results? Leg cramps at night, muscle spasms, calf tightness, that pins and needles feeling in your feet or lower legs. These symptoms are often dismissed as getting older, but they're often signals of a mineral imbalance, not age. The takeaway: bananas may not be right for everyone over 60. If you're an older adult who isn't engaging in regular, consistent physical activity, bananas may cause more fatigue than energy, lead to stubborn belly fat, trigger or worsen blood sugar issues, contribute to mineral depletion and cramps. This doesn't mean bananas are bad for everyone. It means they're not ideal for inactive seniors, especially when eaten alone. If you love bananas and want to keep them in your diet, there's a better way. Pair them with protein and healthy fat. Try half a banana with a tablespoon of almond butter. Add a few slices to plain Greek yogurt with chia seeds. Blend it into a smoothie with spinach and unsweetened protein powder. These combinations buffer the sugar, stabilize your energy, and reduce the insulin spike. In the next part of this video, you'll learn about the second fruit that may be quietly weakening your circulation and increasing your risk for cramps. It's one you probably keep in your refrigerator and eat without realizing how it's impacting your muscle health. Stick with me, because these small changes can lead to massive improvements in how you feel, sleep, and move every day after 60. Ready to continue? Let's keep going. In the last section, we revealed how bananas, despite their healthy reputation, can quietly trigger blood sugar spikes and muscle cramps in inactive seniors. And ironically, when those cramps appear, many people double down on bananas thinking more potassium must be the solution. But what if the real answer is something else entirely? More potassium isn't always the answer. When your legs cramp at night, it's easy to assume it's a potassium issue. That's the most common advice after all: eat a banana. But here's what most seniors don't realize: excess potassium without enough magnesium can actually make the problem worse. And that's exactly what's happening to millions of older adults every night. Magnesium is the mineral that relaxes muscles. It calms the nervous system. It helps regulate insulin and promotes deeper, uninterrupted sleep. So when you load your body with potassium-rich fruit like bananas, but you're already low in magnesium, as most seniors are due to age medications and stress, you create an imbalance that can lead to more cramping, restless legs, twitching, poor sleep. Your body isn't confused. It's speaking to you loudly and asking for better balance, not just more of the same. Bananas aren't bad, but they must be used wisely. Let's be clear, bananas are not evil. They're a tool, but like any tool, they only work when used at the right time, for the right reason, by the right person. If you're about to go for a hike, do yard work, play tennis, or have a physically active morning, a banana can be a smart source of quick, digestible energy. Your muscles will use that sugar for fuel almost immediately. But if you're watching TV, reading on the couch, or doing light housework, and you grab a banana thinking it's healthy, what you're really doing is spiking your blood sugar without a purpose. And your body will store that unused glucose as belly fat, the kind that wraps around your organs and increases your risk of type 2 diabetes, heart disease, and brain fog. If you love bananas, here's how to eat them smarter. Still want to include bananas in your routine? That's okay. Just upgrade how you eat them. Here are a few simple rules. Never eat bananas alone. Always pair them with protein and healthy fats to buffer the sugar spike. Smarter combinations. Try half a banana with a tablespoon of almond butter and a dash of cinnamon. Blend it into a smoothie with spinach, chia seeds, and a scoop of collagen or unsweetened protein. Or save bananas for after you've moved, post-walk, post-garden, post-exercise. Limit frequency. Eating a banana every day may be too much for a sedentary lifestyle. Once or twice a week after physical activity is a better rhythm for most people over 60. Do a 2-week experiment and watch what changes. If you're experiencing fatigue after breakfast, unexplained belly weight gain, energy crashes mid-morning, or frequent nighttime leg cramps, here's a simple challenge. Track your banana habits. Pull bananas out of your diet for 2 weeks. Replace them with low glycemic fruits like berries or green apples, magnesium-rich foods like pumpkin seeds, spinach, or even dark chocolate, mineral water to replenish lost electrolytes. You might be surprised how quickly your energy evens out. Your belly softens and your cramps disappear, because health isn't about good versus bad, it's about context. Every bite has an effect, positive or negative. As you age, precision matters more than ever. Every bite either supports your energy or saps it, fuels your metabolism or clogs it, calms your system or adds stress. And the only way to know which is to stop listening to blanket advice and start listening to your own body. So ask yourself, do you feel lighter, clearer, more focused after eating a banana? Or do you feel sluggish, bloated, foggy, or hungry again within an hour? Your body is always speaking, and sometimes health begins by questioning what you've always assumed was safe. Bananas aren't bad, but they may not be for you. Not every day, not in every context, and not without movement. The next fruit, grapes. Deceptively sweet, surprisingly risky. Let's move to the next fruit that's commonly seen as innocent, maybe even virtuous, but maybe sabotaging your leg strength and circulation every time you reach for a handful. Grapes. They're soft, juicy, convenient. A bowl of grapes feels like a better choice than candy or chips. And for years, you've probably heard they're heart healthy, full of antioxidants like resveratrol, good for your skin, supportive of longevity. All of that can be true in the right context. But for older adults, especially those with slower circulation, lower physical activity, or signs of insulin resistance, grapes can quietly become one of the most deceptive metabolism-wrecking fruits in your daily routine. Why? Because grapes are almost pure sugar in disguise. What's really in that handful of grapes? That soft skin and juicy flesh. It's loaded with glucose and fructose, two forms of sugar that hit your bloodstream fast and hard. Just 15 to 20 grapes, that's a small handful, can pack over 20 grams of sugar. That's more sugar than a small candy bar. But grapes don't come with a label. They don't feel indulgent. They feel natural. But remember, natural doesn't mean neutral. And for a senior body that processes sugar more slowly, those grapes may be doing more harm than good. In the next section, we'll dive deeper into how grapes impact circulation inflammation and why they may be quietly contributing to the very issues you're trying to avoid. Stay with me, because the next fruit on the list may surprise you even more. Let's keep going. In the previous section, we exposed how bananas, when consumed without movement, can silently contribute to sugar crashes, mineral imbalances, and leg cramps in older adults. Now we turn to another fruit that looks harmless on the surface, but may be quietly interfering with your circulation metabolism and sleep grapes. Grapes natural, yes, but not neutral. They're sweet, juicy, bite-sized, and comforting. A handful of grapes feels light, refreshing, even virtuous. They're often the go-to snack when you want something healthy, but easy. And for many years, grapes have been praised for their heart-healthy antioxidants, particularly resveratrol. But when it comes to seniors, especially those with slower metabolism, reduced insulin sensitivity, and poor circulation, grapes can become one of the most deceptively risky choices in your fruit bowl. Why? Because grapes hit your bloodstream fast, too fast. The blood sugar spike most seniors don't see coming. Let's break it down. The moment you eat grapes, their glucose and fructose content gets rapidly absorbed into your blood. In a young, insulin-sensitive body, that sugar spike would be managed quickly. The pancreas would release insulin, clear the sugar, and use it as energy. But in an older adult's body, especially one with prediabetes insulin resistance or diminished pancreatic function, that sugar lingers. It creates a roller coaster effect. Blood sugar spikes sharply. Insulin floods the system in an attempt to respond. A crash follows, leaving you tired, foggy, and craving more sugar. And that's just what you feel. Behind the scenes, your body is paying a deeper price. Increased inflammation, weakened capillary walls, stress on your entire vascular system. You'll begin to feel it in subtle ways. Puffiness in your fingers, swelling in your ankles by late afternoon, heaviness in the legs when walking, tingling or restlessness at night. These symptoms aren't just signs of getting older. They're your body trying to tell you this is glycemic overload. The circulation connection and why grapes make it worse. Grapes may seem light, but their metabolic impact is heavy, especially if you're already dealing with varicose veins, neuropathy, fluid retention, nighttime leg discomfort, or unexplained fatigue after meals. When eaten without movement, grapes are quickly broken down into sugar with nowhere to go, especially if you're sitting down watching TV or resting after lunch. And where does all that unburned sugar end up? Stored as belly fat, converted into triglycerides, processed through the liver, adding to the risk of fatty liver disease, or left floating in your bloodstream, worsening inflammation and vascular stress. Over time, this leads to higher blood pressure, cognitive decline, muscle weakness, and greater difficulty regulating your energy throughout the day. But aren't grapes full of antioxidants? Yes, grapes contain resveratrol, a plant compound linked to cardiovascular protection and even anti-aging benefits. But here's the catch. You'd need several pounds of grapes per day to get a therapeutic dose of resveratrol. And by the time you've eaten enough grapes to benefit from that antioxidant, you've also consumed a dangerous amount of sugar, enough to flood your system, strain your pancreas, and leave you more inflamed than before. So what's the alternative? If you really want resveratrol, you're better off getting it from low-sugar fermented sources like red wine in moderation or high-quality supplements designed for absorption without the sugar load. Smarter fruit options for stable energy and stronger legs. You don't need to eliminate all fruit, but you do need to choose wisely, especially as your metabolism changes with age. Here are safer senior-friendly options. Berries low in sugar, high in fiber and antioxidants. Try raspberries, blackberries, or blueberries. Green apples. When sliced and paired with cinnamon or nut butter, they provide fiber and blood sugar stability. Pears gentle on digestion and slightly lower in sugar than many other fruits. Kiwi surprisingly low on the glycemic index and rich in vitamin C and fiber. And remember this golden rule: always eat fruit with a meal, not alone. Pairing fruit with fat, protein, or fiber slows down glucose absorption, blunts the blood sugar spike, and reduces cravings. A few examples: berries in Greek yogurt, apple slices with almond butter, pears with cottage cheese or walnuts. Never snack on grapes in isolation, especially not in the afternoon or evening when your insulin sensitivity is at its lowest. Your body isn't failing, it's changing. This is the most important takeaway. Your body isn't broken, it's just different than it was at 30 or 40. Your ability to tolerate sugar, regulate blood pressure, retain fluid, and circulate oxygen and nutrients efficiently has changed. And that's not your fault, but it is your responsibility to adapt. Grapes might have been perfect when you were chasing kids around walking miles a day or working on your feet. But now, when movement is lower and recovery is slower, you need to become more intentional. The self-check that could change everything. So let's get honest. Are you struggling with swelling in your feet or ankles? Fatigue after eating? Nighttime leg cramps or restlessness? Tingling in your hands or feet? Then ask yourself this simple question: how often are grapes part of your routine? Once a day, a few times a week, mindlessly snacked on in front of the TV? It might be time to reconsider, not because grapes are inherently bad, but because they may no longer serve your body the way they once did. And in the next section, we'll explore another fruit that, despite its glowing reputation, may be sapping your strength, disrupting your sleep, and slowing your circulation without you even realizing it. Stay with me. The next one might be sitting in your kitchen right now. In the last section, we looked at grapes, how they can disguise sugar spikes behind a healthy label, especially for aging bodies. But grapes aren't the only fruit wearing a friendly mask. The next one might surprise you even more because it's tied to memories, nostalgia, and comfort. But that doesn't mean it's safe. Are your fruit choices really helping you, or just a habit? Here's the truth. Most of us don't question fruit. We assume it's good because it's fruit, because it's natural, because it's better than chips, candy, or cake. But health isn't defined by intention, it's defined by how your body reacts. So ask yourself, do you feel light, energized, and focused after fruit? Or do you feel bloated, foggy, or sluggish within an hour? If it's the latter, your body is trying to talk to you. And it might be time to question what you've always accepted as healthy. Watermelon. Sweet, nostalgic, and metabolically risky. Watermelon is summer's favorite fruit. It reminds people of long picnics, 4th of July cookouts, kids running barefoot in the grass, and slices so big you needed 2 hands. There's something undeniably nostalgic about watermelon, cool, sweet, refreshing. And nutritionally, it sounds innocent. People say it's just water, that it's hydrating, that it's a light snack. But here's the hard truth no one wants to say out loud. If you're over 60 and not very active, watermelon can quietly sabotage your metabolism, your circulation, and your energy. Let's start with the numbers. The sugar spike hiding in watermelon's juice. Watermelon is about 92% water, but the remaining 8%, it's mostly sugar, and that sugar is delivered with almost no fiber, no fat, and 0 protein to slow down digestion. That means it hits your bloodstream fast, sometimes faster than a candy bar. Watermelon has a glycemic index of 72 to 80 depending on ripeness. For comparison, white bread is around 70. That means watermelon spikes your blood sugar faster than a slice of white bread. Now think about what happens in an aging body. Insulin sensitivity decreases. The pancreas responds more slowly. Blood sugar regulation becomes fragile. The crash that follows is harder to recover from. What that sugar spike actually feels like. Within 15 to 30 minutes of eating watermelon on an empty stomach or as a standalone snack, blood sugar shoots up. You may feel a short burst of energy or a slight mood lift, but soon after, blood sugar crashes, leaving you weaker, shakier, and more fatigued than before. Your hands might tremble. Your legs might feel heavier. You may have trouble concentrating or feel unusually tired after what seemed like a light snack. That cycle spike, crash, spike again, chips away at your strength every single day. the microcirculation damage no one talks about. Here's what most doctors and health blogs don't explain. Consistently high glycemic foods like watermelon can quietly damage your microcirculation. That's the network of tiny blood vessels that supplies oxygen and nutrients to your fingers and toes, your eyes and brain, your muscles and joints. Over time, blood sugar spikes inflame these capillaries, making them stiff and inefficient. Blood flow becomes sluggish, nutrient delivery slows, and you begin to notice the signs: cold hands and feet, tingling or numbness, lightheadedness when standing, restless legs at night, slower wound healing in your lower legs or feet. None of these are just aging. They're signs of compromised circulation, worsened by food choices that pretend to nourish but actually disrupt your balance. Watermelon's false promise, refreshing but misleading. Yes, watermelon feels refreshing, but that feeling is misleading. You get a quick cooling effect, a momentary sugar hit, and then the internal chaos begins. Most people eat watermelon alone in the afternoon after lunch or as a snack. It's rarely paired with fat or protein. That means no buffer, no slow release. It slides into your system like liquid sugar. And even a few large slices easily eaten in a few minutes can flood your bloodstream with enough sugar to trigger an insulin surge, a drop in energy, fat storage in the liver and belly, and systemic inflammation that affects your heart, brain, and blood vessels. For older adults, especially those with prediabetes or type 2 diabetes, high triglycerides, metabolic syndrome, or chronic fatigue, this pattern becomes a daily metabolic storm. What should you do instead? This doesn't mean you can never enjoy watermelon again. It means you need to be intentional, not automatic. Here's how to make better choices. Don't eat watermelon alone. Always pair it with a handful of nuts, Greek yogurt, or protein to slow the sugar spike. Cut portion size. A few small cubes eaten after a balanced meal is very different than a giant bowl consumed solo in the afternoon. Replace with lower glycemic fruits, berries rich in fiber and antioxidants, sliced green apple with cinnamon, kiwi surprisingly low in sugar, even a small pear or plum with almond butter. Stay hydrated but smartly. Don't rely on fruit for hydration. Drink mineral-rich water, herbal teas, or coconut water in moderation. Your body isn't broken, it's just asking for better choices. What worked in your 30s and 40s won't always work in your 60s and 70s. That's not failure. That's biology. Your blood vessels are more sensitive. Your insulin response is slower. Your recovery is less forgiving. But your awareness, that's stronger than ever. So if you're feeling puffy, heavy, foggy, or fatigued, and you're snacking on watermelon thinking you're doing something right now, you know what's really happening. The solution isn't restriction, it's precision. And in the next section, we'll look at another fruit that's often praised for its vitamin C, but may be silently triggering your fatigue cramps and weight gain. Let's keep going. The truth matters, and so does your strength. In the previous section, we revealed how watermelon, despite its light hydrating image, can quietly disrupt blood sugar balance and damage circulation in seniors. But the concern doesn't stop at sugar spikes. There's another hidden consequence. Many overlook dehydration through false hydration. Water without minerals doesn't hydrate, it drains you. Most people eat watermelon thinking they're hydrating their bodies. It's mostly water, right? Nearly 92% to be exact. But here's what almost no one talks about. Hydration isn't just about water intake, it's about water retention. To hold water in your cells and tissues, your body needs electrolytes, primarily sodium, potassium, and magnesium. These minerals act like keys unlocking your cell's ability to absorb and hold on to hydration. Watermelon provides water, yes, but almost none of the minerals required to keep that water inside your cells. So what happens? You eat watermelon, you feel temporarily refreshed, but then you urinate more than usual. Your mouth feels dry again. You feel slightly dizzy even after drinking water. Your energy dips, your legs feel heavier, and your head a little foggy. This isn't always just aging. It's often a case of electrolyte imbalance caused by poor hydration strategy. Watermelon hydration. Think of it this way. Watermelon is like a guest who rings your doorbell, walks in without knocking, and leaves before you've had a chance to offer them a chair. It's fast in, fast out. That's not what your body needs, especially as you age, and your ability to retain hydration naturally decreases. So, what can you do? You don't have to swear off watermelon forever. You simply need to stop treating it like a hydration tool. How to eat watermelon smarter. If you're going to enjoy watermelon, treat it like what it is, a natural dessert, not a fluid replacement. Here's how to protect your energy and blood sugar when you include it. Only eat it after a balanced meal, never on an empty stomach. Pair it with fat or protein such as a few almonds, a slice of cheese, or a boiled egg. This slows the release of sugar into your bloodstream and prevents crashes. Don't eat it every day. Reserve it for moments, not habits. Watermelon should be an occasional treat, not a daily routine. And, most importantly, watch how your body responds. If you've been feeling oddly tired despite sleeping, foggy-headed in the mornings, heavy in the legs, or experiencing unexpected mid-afternoon energy crashes, take a close look at what you're snacking on. You may think you're hydrating or doing something good, but your body over 60 processes things differently now. What once was harmless now comes at a cost, and that cost is often paid in circulation energy and mental clarity. Every bite is a message to your body. Your body is a communication system. Every symptom is a signal. Your food either supports your balance or disrupts it. So next time you reach for that bright red wedge of watermelon, ask yourself, am I fueling my body or flooding it? The answer may just determine how your next few hours feel. More clarity or more fog, more energy or another crash. Now, let's talk about fruit juice, the biggest diet lie you still believe. If watermelon is a silent disruptor, fruit juice is a full-blown illusion, and one that's been marketed to you since childhood. You've heard it for decades. A glass of orange juice with breakfast is healthy. Apple juice is a smarter choice than soda. Grape juice is heart-healthy. Juice boxes are a better snack than candy. The labels look convincing, 100% juice. No added sugar. Immune support. High in vitamin C. But if you're over 60, especially if you're not exercising regularly, drinking fruit juice every day isn't just unhelpful. It's quietly wrecking your metabolism, your circulation, and your ability to stay steady on your feet. Juice is just liquid sugar in disguise. Let's be brutally honest, fruit juice is concentrated sugar. It doesn't matter if it's organic, cold-pressed, hand-squeezed, or labeled with no additives. Once you remove the fiber from fruit, strip out the chewing, and eliminate the slow digestive process, what you're left with is liquid sugar. And your liver. It's the first to suffer. What really happens when you drink juice? Take orange juice, for example. One 8OZ glass contains 21 to 26 grams of sugar. That's 5 to 6 teaspoons in one sitting. Nearly all of it is fructose, the type of sugar metabolized almost entirely in the liver. But here's the problem. Fructose doesn't go straight to your muscles to be used as energy like glucose does. It gets dumped on your liver. And for seniors whose livers are already slowing down due to age, that flood of fructose leads to fatty liver disease, insulin resistance, visceral fat accumulation, systemic inflammation. This is an opinion. It's science. And it's happening quietly in millions of adults who believe juice is doing them good. But isn't juice natural? Yes. So is sugar. Natural doesn't always mean helpful. Sugar is natural. So is alcohol. So is poison ivy. What matters is how your body processes it, especially after 60. And without fiber to slow it down, fruit juice slams your liver and bloodstream like a freight train. What should you do instead? If you love fruit flavor or want vitamin C, eat the whole fruit with fiber intact, or infuse water with citrus slices, berries, or cucumber for flavor. Drink herbal teas or electrolyte-rich mineral water for hydration. If needed, take a low-dose vitamin C supplement without the sugar. But if your goal is energy, mobility balance, and circulation, juice has no place in your daily routine. In the next section, we'll tackle another popular fruit that sounds healthy, often praised for its vitamin C content, but may actually be weakening your muscle tone and triggering sugar crashes. Stay with me, because every piece of the puzzle matters, and the next one could be sitting in your refrigerator right now. In the last section, we uncovered the truth about fruit juice, how even a small glass can act like a sugary soft drink in disguise, leading to insulin resistance, poor circulation, and energy crashes. But what's even more alarming is just how easily this cycle begins. All it takes is a glass of juice on an empty stomach, and the consequences ripple far beyond breakfast. The dangerous chain reaction of morning juice. It seems harmless enough. You wake up, pour a glass of orange juice, maybe alongside some toast or cereal, and start your day. It feels healthy. It feels familiar. But here's what's actually happening inside your body. You're beginning your morning with pure sugar, without fiber, without protein, without fat. That juice hits your bloodstream in minutes. Your blood sugar spikes your insulin surges and your pancreas scrambles to process the influx. Then comes the crash, usually around mid-morning. You feel foggy. You crave more sugar. Your energy dips. You may even feel lightheaded when you stand. Pair that juice with a carb-heavy breakfast and the problem worsens. You've layered sugar on sugar spiking and crashing, stressing your metabolism before 10 a.m. And where do you feel it first? In your legs. In your balance. In the slight wobble on stairs, the shaky feeling after lunch, the difficulty standing upright without bracing. This isn't just getting older. This is vascular fatigue caused by too much sugar, delivered in a form your body doesn't know how to handle anymore. It's not just orange juice. All juices are guilty. Orange juice gets the spotlight, but the problem extends across the board. Apple juice, grape juice, cranberry juice, pomegranate juice. Even the no-sugar added versions hit your body just like soda, quickly, aggressively, and without fiber to slow them down. And here's the shocking part. Most fruit juices contain as much sugar or more than a can of soda. You drink them thinking they hydrate you, but they don't. You drink them thinking they energize you, but they leave you drained. You drink them for nutrients, but your body is too busy managing the sugar spike to absorb anything helpful. Worse still, you don't feel full after juice. It satisfies no hunger. It just gives you calories your body didn't ask for and doesn't know what to do with. The silent damage, insulin resistance, and muscle weakness. Over time, your body begins to adapt, but not in a good way. You develop insulin resistance where your cells stop responding to insulin effectively. And that's the first domino in a chain that leads to metabolic syndrome, belly fat that won't budge, type 2 diabetes, and muscle weakness, especially in your legs. Why muscle weakness? Because when insulin can't do its job, your muscles can't access fuel. Circulation becomes sluggish, and your ability to balance, walk, and recover begins to suffer. So when you feel fatigued after a short walk, when your legs feel heavy and unsteady, juice might be part of the problem. The hard truth, even fresh juice isn't healthy. It doesn't matter if it's fresh squeezed, organic, cold pressed, from a fancy juice bar, or even made at home pulp and all. Once the fiber is gone, juice is sugar, and your body treats it that way. You're not drinking fruit. You're drinking fruit sugar separated from the elements that made it healthy in the first place. The good news, your body responds quickly to change. Here's the hopeful part. Many seniors report feeling better within just a few days of cutting out juice. Their bloating drops. Their legs feel lighter. They feel more stable on stairs and when standing. Afternoon crashes disappear. Cravings fade. Sleep improves. And that dull, mental fog lifts. Why? Because without the constant sugar flood, your liver begins to recover. Your insulin starts functioning again. Your muscles and brain and gut begin working together instead of against each other. What to do instead? So what's the alternative? If you're thirsty, drink water. If you want flavor, add cucumber mint or lemon slices. If you want nutrients, eat whole fruit with the skin and pulp intact apples, berries, pears. These fruits still contain sugar, but they're balanced with fiber, which slows digestion, blunts the glucose spike, and gives your body time to absorb the nutrients. That's how nature intended fruit to be eaten. Juice is a shortcut, a hijacking of that design, and it comes with a steep cost. Every habit either builds or breaks your balance. Next time you reach for juice, any kind, pause for a moment. Ask yourself, am I drinking this for health or out of habit because your body is always speaking? You feel it in your circulation. Cravings, balance, blood pressure, and brain fog. And it's not whispering anymore. Break the cycle. Ditch the juice. The fix is simple but powerful. Ditch the juice. Even just for a week. See how you feel. Listen to your body's response. Your liver, your blood vessels, your legs, and your clarity will thank you. And next, we'll take a closer look at a surprising snack that seems small and innocent, but maybe quietly fueling sugar crashes, bloating, and inflammation. Dried fruit. Raisins, apricots, dates. They're sweet, portable, and easy to love. But for aging bodies, they often do more harm than good. Let's continue because your strength is worth protecting. In the last section, we looked at fruit juice, the so-called healthy beverage that delivers a sugar punch to your liver and disrupts circulation, metabolism, and muscle strength. But there's another common food hiding behind a health halo, often sitting in your pantry or snack drawer right now: dried fruit. The sweet lie of dried fruits. Dried fruits have become the modern-day healthy candy. They're marketed as natural, antioxidant-rich, and convenient. You see labels like no added sugar, gluten-free, great source of fiber. It sounds good, right? But for most older adults, dried fruit isn't a smart snack. It's a metabolic and hydration trap dressed up as something wholesome. The truth: a raisin is not just a grape. A date is not just fruit. What really happens when you dry a fruit? When fruit is dried, the water content is removed. And water isn't just about hydration. It plays a vital role in digestion, fullness, and sugar balance. Without that water, the sugar inside the fruit becomes hyper-concentrated. What used to be a balanced, juicy bite becomes a sugar-dense, fiber-light, calorie-heavy bomb that your body processes like candy. Here's the math. One medjool date has about 16 grams of sugar, more than a chocolate chip cookie. 1 cup of raisins, over 85 grams of sugar. That's the equivalent of 2 cans of soda, without the fizz to warn you. And because dried fruits are small, chewy, and easy to overeat, most people don't stop at just 1 or 2. The sugar storm you didn't see coming. Here's what usually happens. You grab a few dates or a small handful of dried cranberries. You chew quickly. You barely feel full, so you go back for more. Before you know it, you've consumed 3 to 5 times the amount of sugar your system can handle in one sitting without even realizing it. Your blood sugar spikes rapidly, your insulin rises sharply, and then comes the crash. You feel sluggish, your mood dips, you might feel irritable or sleepy. Cravings return even though you just ate. And the worst part, because dried fruit contains so little fiber and hydration, your digestive system struggles to process the load. Dehydration disguised as a snack. Despite their chewy texture, dried fruits are dehydrating. Here's why. To be digested, dried fruits pull water from your body. They absorb fluid during breakdown in the gut, fluid your aging body can't afford to lose. That matters more than you might think. Your muscles need water for flexibility. Joints need water to glide pain-free. Heart needs hydration to maintain a steady beat. Skin needs moisture to stay resilient. Digestive system needs lubrication to keep things moving. But when you eat dried fruits, you're actually robbing your tissues of hydration. That's why many seniors report feeling bloated after snacking, tight calves or joint pain, dry mouth even after drinking water, constipation, or slower recovery after walking or stretching. It gets worse: hidden additives and sugar coatings. Most store-bought dried fruits aren't just dried. They're coated in oil to prevent sticking, infused with added sugar for taste, preserved with sulfur dioxide, a chemical that can irritate your lungs and digestive tract. Especially dangerous are dried cranberries, pineapple, mango, papaya. Even the ones labeled no added sugar can still contain preservatives and hidden sweeteners. You're not eating nature. You're eating a processed product designed for shelf life, not your well-being. The impact on senior bodies. When older adults regularly consume dried fruit, the effects often show up in subtle but significant ways. Restless legs at night, increased joint pain, cravings that seem hard to explain, dryness in the skin or mouth, fatigue that doesn't match your level of activity, slower recovery after walks or light exercise, tingling or swelling in the lower legs. These symptoms often get labeled as just aging, but they're often signals that your body is being thrown off balance by what you're eating. And dried fruit is a common hidden trigger. So what's the solution? You don't need to fear fruit. You just need to honor your biology. Here's how: cut out dried fruits completely or treat them as rare desserts. If you choose to eat them, do so intentionally. 2 dates, not 8. 5 raisins, not a handful. Always pair with fat protein or fiber, like a few almonds, plain yogurt, or a boiled egg. Hydrate properly before and after. Read labels carefully, avoid added sugars, seed oils, and preservatives. And, most importantly, listen to how your body responds. Better snack options for sustained energy and balance. Swap dried fruits for fresh berries rich in fiber and antioxidants. Sliced green apples with almond butter. Pears with chia seeds. Carrot sticks with hummus. Cucumbers and olives for hydration and sodium balance. These snacks don't just avoid the sugar bomb, they actively support your circulation, balance, cognitive clarity, and hydration status. Final thought: feed your body. Don't fool it. Every snack is a choice. Are you feeding your body the nourishment it needs to thrive, or fooling it with a treat that leaves you more depleted than before? Next time you reach into the pantry for dried fruit, pause. Ask yourself, is this helping me feel better or just filling a habit? Because your legs, your energy, your sleep, and your balance are all listening. And in the next section, we'll tackle one final fruit, one that's often seen as light and cleansing, but maybe secretly drying you out and disrupting your body's rhythm. Let's keep going. You're almost there. In the last section, we examined how dried fruit, though tiny and convenient, can quietly drain your hydration, spike your blood sugar, and leave you feeling more tired than nourished. But dried fruit isn't the only sugar-packed health food seniors are often misled by. The next culprit is even more deceptive because it sits on grocery shelves with words like light, in syrup, or heart healthy, while hiding a metabolic threat under a shiny label canned fruit in syrup. Eat fresh fruit, real fruit, not just sweetness. If you're craving something sweet, go with fresh fruit. A few slices of apple, a handful of berries, or a couple of crisp pear wedges. Yes, these still contain sugar, but they also come with water to hydrate you, fiber to slow digestion, volume to help you feel full. That means your blood sugar stays steadier, your digestion works more efficiently, and your hydration is supported, not stolen. So before you reach for dried fruit out of habit while watching TV, trying to beat an afternoon slump, or substituting it for dessert, pause. Ask yourself, what does my body really need right now? Is it energy connection, hydration? Because dried fruit might be convenient, but it doesn't fix fatigue. It doesn't soothe emotions. It doesn't solve stress. It just coats the problem in sugar. You deserve more than that. Small doesn't mean safe, and sweet doesn't mean smart. The next time you pass that trail mix, those snack-sized raisin boxes, or the display of glossy organic medjool dates at the store, remember this? Small doesn't mean harmless. Sweet doesn't mean smart. Natural doesn't always mean nourishing. And if your joints feel stiffer, your legs feel heavier, your digestion has slowed, or your cravings feel stronger than ever, there's a chance dried fruit is quietly holding you back. Don't let smart marketing override your biology. Don't let nostalgia make choices that your nervous system and circulatory system can no longer afford. The next threat, canned fruit in syrup. At first glance, it seems innocent. A cup of peaches in syrup, a tin of pineapple slices, a serving of pears with that familiar golden glow. You tell yourself it's still fruit. It's not a donut, not cake, not candy, so it must be fine. Right. But here's the unspoken truth many seniors never hear until the damage is already done. Once fruit is canned in syrup, it stops being food. It becomes a metabolic hazard, especially for those over 60. Why? Because it's not just less healthy, it's actively harmful, hiding behind words like light syrup and no added sugar. The sugar bomb you don't taste. Canned fruit in syrup is more than just sweet. It's soaked in a solution often made from high fructose corn syrup, one of the most inflammatory ingredients in the modern food system. Unlike natural sugars, fructose isn't burned for energy by your muscles. It goes straight to your liver, where it's converted into fat, especially visceral fat, the most dangerous kind that wraps around your organs. But that's not all. Fructose in high concentrations damages the endothelium, the thin, delicate lining inside your blood vessels. This lining is what keeps blood flowing smoothly to your heart, brain, muscles, and, most crucially, your legs. When the endothelium is inflamed, which often happens in seniors who consume syrupy canned fruits, blood flow slows, vessels become stiff, oxygen delivery drops, tissues begin to starve. The real signs show up in your legs. That's when symptoms start: swelling in your ankles, a heavy dragging feeling in your legs, tingling or numbness in your feet, slow recovery after walking or light movement, restless legs at night, dizziness when standing, and that subtle creeping realization that your mobility just isn't what it used to be. Is it aging? Not always. Often it's diet-induced vascular dysfunction, and canned fruit in syrup is one of the fastest ways to trigger it. The dangerous illusion of light syrup. What makes canned fruit especially deceptive is the packaging. You think you're making a good choice because the label says peaches or fruit cocktail. It's easy to open. It's served in hospitals, retirement homes, and cafeterias. It's marked light syrup or even natural juice. But light syrup is still syrup, and the fruit inside, it's been stripped, softened, and soaked. A single small can of fruit in syrup often contains 20 to 30 grams of sugar. That's more than a candy bar, but you don't feel guilty because it's fruit. That's how the food industry gets you, by turning food into a formula and health into a label. The bottom line: protect your circulation, protect your freedom. If you're over 60, struggling with poor circulation, energy crashes, brain fog, tingling in your feet, or unsteady balance, it's time to take a hard look at your pantry. Canned fruit in syrup isn't nourishing you. It's clogging your system. It's increasing inflammation. It's robbing your muscles of oxygen. And worst of all, it's doing it while pretending to help. A simple swap that changes everything. Here's what you can do instead. Eat fresh fruit or frozen fruit with no sugar added. If you crave canned fruit, choose ones labeled in water or 100% juice and still drain the liquid. Pair any fruit with protein or fat like Greek yogurt, almonds, or cottage cheese. And keep portions moderate, because fruit isn't the enemy, but the way it's processed can be. You deserve real nourishment, not sweet illusions. Every bite you take sends a message. It either feeds inflammation or fights it. It either supports circulation or stalls it. Next time you reach for that tin of peaches or a light syrup fruit cup, ask yourself, am I honoring my body's needs? Or just trusting a label? Your liver, your heart, your blood vessels, and your legs are listening. In the next section, we'll explore one final fruit often praised for its cleansing properties and detox power, but for aging bodies, it might be doing more harm than good. Let's keep going. The truth matters, so does how you feel when you stand up tomorrow morning. In the last section, we exposed how canned fruit in syrup, a food once considered convenient and healthy, can quietly disrupt circulation, spike blood sugar, and lead to a cascade of vascular issues. But what makes this especially dangerous is how easily it fits into daily routines. Without even thinking about it, people consume it at breakfast with lunch or as a lighter dessert and never suspect the damage it's causing. When fruit loses its form and its function, each time you eat canned fruit in syrup, your body is hit with more than just sweetness. It's flooded with rapid-acting sugar, often delivered in the form of high fructose corn syrup or concentrated syrup solutions that spike insulin and disrupt blood flow. But the problem goes even deeper. Canned fruit doesn't just add sugar, it removes everything that once made the fruit nourishing: no fiber, no structure, no hydration, no resistance during digestion. The heat used during processing breaks down the cellular structure of the fruit. The end result is soft, sugar-soaked flesh that digests rapidly, exactly like candy. And your body treats it that way. There's no chew, no satisfaction, no signal to the brain that you've eaten something meaningful, just sweetness and syrup. And the signs you're paying the price. You may not notice the damage all at once, but your body does, and it speaks through quiet, frustrating signs. Your legs ache after standing. You find yourself elevating your feet more often. There's a tightness in your calves even without exertion. You feel wobbly going upstairs. You experience numbness or tingling in your feet. These aren't random. They're not just the result of getting older. They're signals your circulatory system crying out, signs that your endothelial lining, the thin inner layer of your blood vessels, is inflamed, that your blood viscosity is increasing, that oxygen delivery is slowing down. And here's the worst part: when this becomes a daily pattern, it starts to feel normal. You think, maybe I'm just aging. But what's really happening is this: your body is fighting unnecessary friction, and it's losing. Because when blood can't flow freely, everything becomes harder. Walking, thinking, healing, sleeping. And no pill can undo what daily sugar hidden in canned fruit is doing at a microvascular level. What should you do instead? The solution is simple: eliminate canned fruit in syrup completely. This isn't one of those everything in moderation moments. This is a hard stop. Canned fruit in syrup offers no benefit to your aging biology. It doesn't hydrate, it doesn't strengthen, it doesn't help you age well. It's just processed sugar pretending to be food. If you want fruit, eat it fresh and in season, with the skin on when possible, or choose unsweetened frozen options. If you use canned fruit, choose fruit packed in water or its own juice and still drain it. Rinse it and pair it with real food like protein or fat to reduce the glycemic load. And most importantly, listen to how your body responds. What happens when you stop eating canned fruit in syrup? Within days of removing syrup-laced fruit, many seniors report less bloating, lighter legs, clearer thinking, reduced dependence on walking aids, stronger balance, and a sense of vitality they thought was lost. That's not magic. That's your body working without interference. That's blood flowing where it needs to. That's oxygen reaching your legs and brain again. That's aging on your terms, not under the weight of fake fruit. No, it's not harmless. Canned peaches are not harmless. Pineapple in syrup is not light. Those small plastic fruit cups handed out in retirement homes or hospitals, they're not nourishment. They're sabotage in a spoon. Your legs are asking for freedom. Your heart is asking for ease. Your blood is asking for room to move. Say no to syrup. Say yes to real food, real circulation, and real clarity. The final warning: overripe mangoes. Mangoes may seem healthy, and in moderation with fat or protein, they can be. But overripe mangoes are a hidden danger for seniors, as they ripen fiber drops and sugar spikes. That combination weakens insulin response, triggers blood sugar crashes, leaves you dizzy, foggy, and heavy in the legs. Many seniors add mango to smoothies or desserts, unaware of how it sabotages their circulation and metabolic rhythm. Smarter alternatives for daily strength. What to choose instead? Berries, especially blueberries and raspberries, low in sugar, high in antioxidants, and protect blood vessels. Apples with skin, packed with fiber and polyphenols that regulate blood sugar. Avocados, technically a fruit rich in potassium and healthy fats to support nerve and muscle health. Because here's the truth, not all fruit is friendly after 60. Some spike your sugar, some weaken your legs, some steal your strength silently day by day. Avoid the 7 we've covered. Fuel your body with fruits that protect, not punish your muscles, your brain, and your balance. A final thought: when your legs go, your freedom follows. At this stage of life, every bite matters. Every choice you make either supports your freedom or steals from it. So ask yourself when you walk across the room, when you climb those stairs, when you wake up tomorrow morning, will your legs feel strong? Will your mind feel clear? That answer starts with what you eat today. Walk strong. Choose wisely. If you found this helpful, subscribe to Life After 60 today for weekly science-backed insights on aging well. And in the comments, tell us, which fruit are you swapping out and which one are you keeping? Your legs, your energy, and your independence are listening. Make them proud.